whatever we're playing, we're always looking for what makes us as humans with a beating heart, what drives us, what moves us, and what touches us. Because when we find that, then that translates to what the audience feels. And I think in these last years, a lot of us have had this need for almost a primal feeling of how to express ourselves, right? And connecting with people. And it's this very basic human need that we have, that we're fulfilling. And hopefully, we're bringing to the audiences and letting them connect with us on that level.
I'm Elissa, and I'm the violinist of EMIC. It was actually that ridiculously long car ride where we were like 7 hours in the car on the road, which could have been such a freaking torturous, arduous journey. And it was late, we left late. It was already like 3 o'clock and we're like driving through the night on this like straight as an arrow, bone boring, totally like nothing to do drive. And we just had the best time because we were like blasting music and everyone was like putting their playlists on and putting the songs on. We were just having such a great time. That was like a super highlight for me because I was like, wow, this is like the dynamic and the energy and the camaraderie and just the joking and the sort of laughter and the teasing and all the sort of like nice things that you have with great friends. So that was just like the best memory for me.
Well, I think it's really interesting that we're always talking a lot about what a great time we have, and that's so important for chamber music because the chemistry really needs to work, right? But then at the same time, I think we get so much of the silliness and the joking and all of that fun side of music making out of the way so that when we get on stage, then we have an even more incredible time for me. I think when we're on stage, then the chemistry, the energy, and all the seriousness that we bring to that moment is enhanced because we had such a great time off stage. And I think for chamber music group, this is something that nobody ever teaches, it just has to happen. And I think we're really lucky that we were able to get this group together and get this chemistry. And now I think when people see us and hear us in concert, they really feel it. And I think in these last years, a lot of us have had this need for almost a primal feeling of how to express ourselves, right? And connecting with people. And it's this very basic human need that we have, that we're fulfilling. And hopefully, we're bringing to the audiences and letting them connect with us on that level.
I think we often all use the same language about telling story through music. And we feel so privileged. And what I really appreciate about EMIC is that on one hand, like we share between each of us different sort of perspectives, and we share sort of ways of thinking, like in the way that Sheila and I, we spent a lot of time in Quebec, and we sort of share a bit the French language, for example, or and also a lot of friends in common and education from a certain kind of place. And then with Trey and Elissa, for example, there's a lot of shared cultural heritage that we have. But what I also love about us is actually how different we all are. It's quite hilarious sometimes. The stark differences between us, which make for sometimes really explosive moments, but it also makes for such exciting music making, because I think what all of us want more than anything else to make sure is to make sure we always are saying something with what we're doing. And so what I can always count on is that we will all hold ourselves, each of us, accountable to say, hey, this is boring, make it better. And we all trust each other that we mean it from the best place possible. Not you are a boring person. In fact, it's that, hey, I know how good this can be. Let's make this better. That's been like the most fulfilling part about EMIC for me so far. I'm sure there'll be more. But that is such a motivating part for me about why I'm here.
When we're doing all these concerts over and over, the same concert, even at the end, in the last concert, we're still finding fresh new perspectives on every show. It's so fun to get on stage and rediscover the piece every single time. We are never stuck in a rut with ideas, and we're always just motivated by being on stage. Also, I think it's so fun to respond to the audience, and you know, there's some concerts that'll feel more heartfelt and sentimental, and some that'll feel more like a party, and it just, I feel like we have so much fun responding to that and being sensitive and open to it. And I think we've found some really fun experiences that way with playing the same piece over and over. And then we get to a part where it's just like, whoa, I didn't know we could do that.
So for all the fun that we have together amongst ourselves and food and camaraderie and all that, ultimately for all of us, like of course it's about our audience and different kinds of audiences. Like in particular me, like I love yapping. Is that obvious? Like on stage, I love introducing the pieces. I love talking and preparing audience for what they might hear, what they might feel. You know, I know we all talk about the pandemic, but coming out of it, there's so much talk about live concerts again. Oh, it's so nice to be back. It's nice to be back. But it's not just about, it's nice to be back and have people clap for us. It's, this music means so much to us, and we want so much to bring people like into the excitement and into the dialogue of what we're doing. You know, the very act that we are all listening so intently to each other, we want the audience to share in that experience with us. That is what is ultimately so meaningful to us, that the energy we bring should be and is infectious for them.
Our backgrounds bring a lot of different influences. You know, we've all studied and performed all over the world. So in that sense, I think EMIC is on the one hand, is very Canadian because it has worked so much with Canadian composers, Canadian artists, and of course performed all over Canada. But on the other hand, it has such an international and just culturally mixed profile to it that makes it so unique. And I really enjoy that part of it because I feel like I'm constantly being exposed to new inspirations and, you know, different types of influences from all over the world.